Apparently, delusion exists in the sport of boxing, just like in society. And it comes thick. Such is the case with Canelo Alvarez and his thoughts about a future rematch with Dimitri Bivol. According to Canelo Alvarez, he insists that when they do face each other again, possibly in September, they will fight at 175, so that there will be no excuses. But then again, who's the one that makes the excuses? I mean, I haven't heard Dimitri Bivol make any excuses. And seeing that both fighters have fought once since facing each other last, it appears that Canelo is saying that we make excuses. We, meaning the viewing public, we're the ones that are taking to task the fact that, hey, he's doing these things and we are making the excuses. But it wasn't us who suggested that he go off and fight a 1,000-year-old Triple G instead of facing Dimitri Bivol in an immediate rematch, right? Or am I wrong in that? So let's talk about this. And Canelo says 175. So there'll be no excuses. Wow. We have to say that this is going to be very interesting because Canelo Alvarez is insisting that a rematch with Dimitri Bivol be held at 175. And there's another article in Boxing News 24 that Dimitri Bivol says that he very well may just wait for Canelo for September. So that means that if he decides to do that, he will be out of the ring for an extensive period of time because Canelo's having a fight in between. Dimitri last fought in November of 2022 when he took on Gilberto Ramirez and took not only the luster off of Ramirez, but according to Canelo, his heart as well. So, will Canelo face Dimitri Bivol in September? We don't know yet. But it's going to be interesting because both men are saying things that kind of indicate that they definitely want to face one another. But will they face one another? That's the thing. Canelo could have gone into an immediate rematch after dropping his fight against Dimitri Bivol, but elected to go a different route. He wanted to get back into the winning column, I believe. And so that took him back to familiar trails where he had originally stated that he wouldn't even pursue. Now, what are those trails? Those trails are the fact that he'd get back in there against none other than Gennady Golovkin. Wow. Gennady Golovkin. Really? A man that that Canelo has said he'd never fight again. Seeing that they last faced each other many moons ago, which is actually September of 2018. Really? So, you mean to get back on the winning track, he had to go back and dig up an old guy like that? Unbelievable what you see in the sport of boxing. But let me tell you something. When you consider his record now, Canelo, he who is currently 58-2 with 2 draws, 39 KOs. He's on the downside. Make no mistakes about it. But he thought that he still had enough to handle someone like Dimitri Bivol when they faced one another in May of 2022. But Canelo, who's only 32 years old, but turned pro in his mid-teens. He was either 16 or something like that when he turned pro. He thought, a terrible misjudgment, that Dimitri Bivol was easy for the pickings. But I have to tell you something. That style that Dimitri Bivol has is kind of what we see as a rivalry between Mexico and the European fighters. Some get the other come back at other times and best the other. Those two styles, the Mexican style and that Euro Pro Am style, is a good mesh, especially when you take the best of their classes and pit them against each other. So the 5'8" Canelo with the 70.5-inch reach had trouble against Dimitri. And Dimitri, who's all of 6'1", possibly 6 foot even, but has a 72-inch reach, had more than what Canelo thought he did, and combinations to boot. And guess what? The Russian Bivol is also 32 years old. Yes, he is. And his record, still an outstanding 21-0 with 11 KOs, are suggesting that not only are these two men ready and primed to go at it for one more go-around, but there's nothing on the books that suggests that this will be a different fight. Only the ego of Canelo Alvarez, who may be coming in, possibly juiced. We know he has a history. But he has to go all out in this fight against Bivol as he faces him a second time around. He wants to prove to the world, to his fans, that that first fight was just an aberration. It was a setback. It was kind of one of those things that it kind of happens and you just can't explain it, right? That's all that was. Or was it more? So he's insisting that, hey, the second time is going to be a charm for him. He really wants to be motivated to defeat Dimitri Bivol. But personally, I believe that this is the wrong type of style. He didn't want to face Dimitri Andrade, who's a southpaw, but a great boxer. He didn't want to face Jamal Charlo, who is an orthodox fighter, every bit the size and possible reach of Bivol, similar in stature and extremities. Didn't want to face him. But he faces Bivol, whom he respected even less. It was a cherry pick gone wrong. Let's make no doubt about that. So you avoided all these other guys just to get in the ring with a guy who was less known for him to whoop you. And you ran away from a rematch with your tail between your legs and went and took on an old man that people felt like there was no reason for the fight. No one asked for it. And you said you wouldn't fight the man again. So what was that all about? I have to believe that in this next fight, especially since Bivol will be facing him again at 175, he should go for the knockout, Bivol. Stop Canelo Alvarez. Stop the BS train. Stop the BS comments. Stop all of this privilege that this man has enjoyed in his career, so boxing can get back on track. Because it's fighters like he, Triple G, Vasily Lomachenko, and a couple of others that are out there holding the sport hostage. And the sooner that we can get fighters like that out of the way, the more progress the sport of boxing can have. Because just as in this pummeling that he's taking in these clips, Canelo has seen better days. And so has boxing. So he can insist all he wants that the fight be held at 175. But I want to know where. Please tell me, someone, where will the funeral be held? Because coming into this fight with Dimitri Bivol for a second time, there is nothing about Canelo Alvarez's ability that impresses me enough to say that he can Bivol. In fact, Bivol's confidence should have grown, and the fact that he fought a bigger version, younger version of Canelo in his last fight in Gilberto Ramirez, who had vowed to take and avenge Canelo's loss and the losses for all of Mexico, only to have the curtain ripped back and expose the dirty laundry, that there was really nothing there but fluff. Yeah. So, what do you think is gonna happen in a rematch between these two? I'll tell you one thing. Nothing can happen if Canelo doesn't acknowledge first that he has some easy pickings along the way called John Ryder. Don't slip on that banana peel. I guess that's why you're having that fight in Mexico. But that doesn't assure anything. Not for a guy who's got two bad wills. But you're stacking the deck once again. We've seen this show from Canelo. But I'm going to tell you something. Dimitri Bivol is a different horse. And that's not any horse bleep. Yeah. So what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what your thoughts are when it comes down to the fact that Canelo wants to fight insistingly at 175 in his rematch with Dimitri Bivol, should he get past John Ryder. And Dimitri Bivol is considering waiting for him. Should it go down that way or not? What's your take? Let's talk about it and discuss it further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.